Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel Jeffrey's Demons, where we delve deep into intriguing and controversial topics that captivate the world's attention, particularly in relation to a certain convicted pedophile. In the gilded cages of the elite, where wealth whispers secrets and power casts long shadows, there lurks a story that chills the soul. It's a tale of a predator, Jeffrey Epstein, who wove a web of depravity ensnaring young girls and leveraging his connections to peddle influence at the highest echelons of society. At the heart of this web is a name that continues to spark outrage and intrigue, none other than Great Britain's well-known charming Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. Today we delve into the dark and disturbing story that keeps sending shockwaves across the globe, a story of power, privilege, and unspeakable crime. Join us as we uncover the truth about Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew. That's right. Brace yourselves for an eye-opening journey as we unravel the truth that has shocked the world. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Now, let's first begin by understanding who Jeffrey Epstein actually was. Born in 1953, Epstein grew up in Brooklyn, New York, a multimillionaire financier who managed to amass enormous wealth through his connections and various business ventures. Epstein claimed to have built up an extensive social circle, including politicians, scientists, celebrities, and even royalty. His lavish lifestyle and connections allowed him to establish himself as a prominent figure within society's highest rollers. However, beneath the surface of Epstein's extravagant lifestyle, a sinister reality was unfolding. Numerous allegations of sexual abuse and exploitation began to emerge, painting a terrifying picture of his activities. In fact, you will be amazed, but this enigmatic billionaire was a man shrouded in mystery. His wealth, estimated at $1.5 billion according to various media sources, was as opaque as his origins. He claimed to be a self-made financier, but his exact source of income remains a shadowy and elusive secret to this day. Epstein's connections extended far beyond the financial world. His charm was a gilded mask, hiding a monstrous truth. Now, people struggle to believe it, but at the heart of Epstein's empire lay a private island in the Caribbean, a sun-drenched Eden purchased by Epstein himself that festered with darkness. Little St. James, dubbed as Lolita Island, became a playground for Epstein's depravity. Young girls and some very young teenagers were lured there with promises of opportunity, only to be trapped in a web of sexual abuse and endless manipulation. Court documents detailed horrifying accounts of exploitation and abuse, revealing a network that preyed on vulnerable young girls. Now here comes the fact we have all been waiting for, the portion of our narrative connecting the dots back to Prince Andrew. By Epstein's side stood Ghislaine Maxwell, a socialite with a venomous smile and an unswerving and chilling loyalty. She acted as his procurer, his confidant, and his accomplice, grooming young girls and facilitating their abuse. Maxwell, like Epstein, reveled in the shadows about her connections to the British elite, granting herself and Epstein a smug delusion of impunity. The following article represented a turning point. Its headline reads, "Prince Andrew's Jeffrey Epstein ties explored in Secrets of Prince Andrew." The entire world was shocked by this news when it was reported in Rolling Stone. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, a man seemingly seduced by the glitz of Epstein's world, had found himself ensnared in the Epstein scandal. His association with Epstein became a stain on the royal family's reputation. He basked in the billionaire's wealth, vacationed on Jeffrey's Island, and even reportedly received massages from underage girls in numerous parts of the world, thanks to leveraging his previous history with Maxwell. Despite mounting allegations and public outcry, Andrew remained steadfast in his friendship with Epstein, while his denials of impropriety rang hollow in the face of mounting evidence. Epstein's tentacles of influence wrapped themselves around the highest echelons of society. Elites, politicians, and even renowned scientists fell over themselves to gain access to him. And perhaps unsurprisingly, many such individuals later on would be implicated in his scandalous affairs. The question looms large: how did Epstein manage to escape justice for so long? According to the article published in the famous Tatler magazine, court testimony named Virginia Giuffre as being present at the island. Giuffre is now 40 and is living in Australia. In 2022, Prince Andrew paid millions of pounds to Giuffre to settle a case alleging that he sexually abused her when she was just 17 years old. This is hardly the type of action that would spring from a guiltless conscience. Again, Prince Andrew has denied any wrongdoing, famously stating that he had never met Miss Giuffre in a BBC interview peppered liberally with lies and half-truths which curled toes the world around. In one of the documents, as reported by NPR and LiveMint, Further details relating to Prince Andrew arose in the form of a quote from Epstein's housekeeper, Alfredo Rodriguez, which stated that the Duke phoned Epstein's house about once a week. Other details pertaining to Rodriguez, who died in 2015, also emerged in the files. Rodriguez was tasked with security by Epstein. He was also asked to carry cash at all times to give to the high school girls and other girls who were helping recruit for Epstein. But, as it's rightly said, truth always has a face, and this face is revealed now and then. The same was true in this scenario, and the walls of silence began to crumble. Brave survivors, fueled by the Me Too movement, stepped forward to report their abuse, with their voices shaking the very foundations of power. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein's most vocal accusers, painted a horrifying picture of systematic abuse implicating both Epstein and Prince Andrew, which was very unexpected, and the world was shocked by such revelations. Onlookers marveled as the truth unfolded, revealing the depths of depravity that lurked beneath the veneer of privilege. In 2019, a well-deserved comeuppance was witnessed, as finally, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and conspiracy. But justice, it seemed, was a luxury too costly even for a supposed billionaire. If the official story is to be believed, he died by his own hand after committing suicide inside his jail cell, leaving a trail of unanswered questions, destroyed families, unprosecuted crimes, and bereft victims in his wake. Maxwell, however, faced the consequences in 2021, as she was convicted of sex trafficking and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Remarkably, photographs of Prince Andrew with Epstein and allegations of his involvement in the exploitation of young girls continue to cast a dark shadow over the monarchy. The world watched as Prince Andrew faced intense scrutiny and legal battles. The prince's desire to sidestep the limelight became increasingly difficult to reconcile with his reported penchant for gangbanging underage girls. Despite this, Prince Andrew remained elusive. He clung to his denials. Meanwhile, the public backlash was swift and unforgiving. He was stripped of his honorary military titles, his reputation tarnished beyond repair. Sadly, the Queen, his own mother, could not shield him from the chilling winds of consequence. No doubt that the truth about Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and the shadows of power is a chilling tale of abuse and the consequences of a culture that shields the elite from accountability. And as we continue to shed light on these dark corners, let us not forget the brave people standing with the truth. But the question remains, was Prince Andrew a willing participant or an unwitting pawn in Epstein's dangerous game? How far does the excuse of ignorance extend where matters such as these are concerned? Interestingly, soon the news spread the globe and both men were highlighted in the mainstream media as well as in newspapers both on national and international levels. CNBC, Global News, NY Times mentioned them in their headlines. Moreover, Reels and TV Guide International even posted about them with the titles "Truth About the Prince Andrew and Epstein." Time magazine gave the exact course of details related to the charges. Here's what to know about the sex trafficking case against Jeffrey Epstein on July 17, 2019, which was discussed widely at the time while social media platforms such as Twitter were replete with people venting their shock and outrage over these matters. "The alleged behavior shocks the conscience," said Jeffrey Berman, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York during a press conference on July 8, in which he detailed the allegations against Epstein. "The Public Corruption Unit of U.S. Attorney's Office is handling the case with assistance from the FBI and the human trafficking officials from the U.S. Attorney's Office." The Miami Herald published a deep investigative report into how Epstein avoided federal prosecution in 2008, reporting that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan was investigating Epstein for months prior to unsealing the indictment. According to the Herald, the indictment included new victims and witnesses who came forward in the last several months to speak with officials in New York at that time, which raises even more questions about the legitimacy of these claims, as well as whether or not anyone will ever fathom the horrifying extent of Epstein's crimes. Indeed, as the truth unfolded, Epstein's empire crumbled. His arrest in 2019 offered a glimpse into the intricate web of deception, but his mysterious death in jail left many unanswered questions. The fallout from the scandal continues to reverberate. The victims, brave individuals who spoke out against their abusers, continue to seek justice. The revelations triggered investigations, which led to the arrest of some of Epstein's associates. According to The Guardian in their recent celebrity news column on 5 Jan 2024, Michael Jackson and David Copperfield were also also among well-known people mentioned in released court records. As well as these figures, the BBC claimed that Bill Clinton was named in court files. However, the full extent of Epstein's network's reach remains shrouded in secrecy, amid suggestions that Epstein himself was funded, enabled, or perhaps even protected by Israeli intelligence. The truth about Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew is a chilling tale of abuse, power, and the consequences of a culture that shields the elite from accountability while glamorizing the moral vacuum that is Hollywood, in which such celebrity indiscretions and the normalization of pedophilia run amok. This saga of Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew is far from over, my esteemed fellow journeymen. Questions still remain unanswered, while secrets squirm helplessly at every turn. Did Andrew truly know the extent of Epstein's crimes, or is the sweatless prince just as stupid as he looks? Were there other high-profile figures involved, or were there not? The investigation continues to gather momentum as shadows of abuse, like terrified children, cling like dusty cobwebs to the methane-infused corridors of power. But this story is about more than the gleeful sodomy carried out systematically and nonchalantly by two slightly intellectually challenged, coddled, privileged, gray-haired old baby boomer psychopaths. It's a stark reminder of the insidious nature of power, the vulnerability of the young, and the desperate need for accountability of young and old alike, regardless of wealth or status. It's a call to action, a demand for justice, and an impassioned plea for a promise never to let the voices of the silenced be ignored, overlooked, or forgotten again. And it's a reminder that it doesn't matter who you are. One day you will give an account of your life, so be ready. And in the meantime, don't be a pedophile. Thank you for joining us on today's journey into the deepest recesses of the demonic hellscape that is the haunting tale of Andrew and Jeffrey. Will their names forever be a byword for corruption, abuse, and filth? Only time will tell. If you found this video informative, then kindly give it a thumbs up, please, guys, and please share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Jeffrey's Demons, for more in-depth investigations and interesting facts. Stay curious and stay vigilant. See you soon.